Good evening, everybody. I need some response, guys. Good evening. Great. So the last session we could see there were a lot of mathematics, a lot of discussions around the articles published, all those things. That's not going to be there in this session. We are going to make it very light and we'll introduce you with AI PC, and it's going to be in a very conversational manner, very colloquial, jovial manner, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. And any questions, any point in time, we'll be very happy to answer, and we are here to explain you the AI PC. What all we will explore in this session, we'll discuss the challenges that we currently have in the cloud-based AI approach. Followed by that, why is the necessity we have got at this point in time towards getting into AI PC? Is it the right time? We will discuss that. And the triads, CPU, GPU, and the newborn baby in the town, NPU. All these will be discussed. And we will also talk about the plugins that are available openly and freely for you guys to try out with AI PC. And we will also have Q&A connected to it with some pointers regarding OpenVINO with AI PC. So that part will also be discussed. So is it a core technical session where we will dive deeper into research perspective? No, definitely not. It's going to be a moderately technical session where our intention lies very clear in the aspect that we need to introduce you with AI PC, and tomorrow you should attend the session that we are conducting, the workshop that we are conducting towards getting you hands-on experience with AI PC. So we are setting up the prelims here, and you should probably see that how exactly things work tomorrow. So we are connecting it that way, and the dots are connected.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask Sriram the first question before you guys. So I'm pretty sure that AI is like a rapidly evolving space, right? So Sriram being the expert in that, I would like Sriram to brief us all about the AI operations, how it is happening today, the landscape of AI operations. Sriram, right. Can you help us there?
Yeah, thanks Anisha. Like today, predominantly you see, any AI applications, whatever we are thinking about, we are having one thing definitely there, that's cloud. We are taking data, we are pushing it onto the cloud, getting it computed there, getting the results back, display it onto your PC. Somehow we are connected to cloud always, right? The compute time that we have with respect to computation will happen locally also, you cannot avoid it, but there are many parameters connected to it which I will talk about. There are few things that you need to really be concerned about getting this cloud connect always. The first thing that you need to have is the internet connectivity that you are married to. That's the first limitation. We need internet connectivity all the time. Second problem that we have is the latency connected to it. I told you we are pushing the data, we get it computed there. Computation time, forget it, you can't avoid it anyways. And we are getting the data back. So there is a latency which is available, which we need to look into for some very important real-time applications which cannot really afford to waste time any means. So there we have a problem. And coming to data privacy, we are always having a question about who owns the data, what will happen to the data, is it always safe? All those kind of questions will keep ringing in our ears, and we do not have a solid answer there many a times. And we still have a question. So it's a definite question to be understood. So the solution that we present you here to answer all these questions is nothing but the AI PC.
Yeah, so obviously AI PC comes into picture because there's like different types of compute, right? I guess for the benefit of all the beginners, or at least me, can you explain what are all the different computes that we have?
Right. So you are definitely not a beginner, I know that. Yeah. So we have got traditionally the two approaches we are following where AI PC has come into the market newly. We have got the cloud approach, the edge approach, and we are introducing with you the AI PC. Now the deployment can happen this way. First it can be cloud. You are all very familiar with it. The biggest advantage and the disadvantage that we need to understand for the cloud-based approach is we are having large amount of data and really limitless amount of compute is available based on the demand. So we do not have to bother about who maintains it, what's the kind of trouble that we need to take towards managing, all those things we need not bother about it. But on the negative side of it, there is a risk of data privacy, there is a latency problem connected to it, right? This is what I told you sometime back also, and I'm reiterating that point. Let's come to edge. Edge has got multiple industry-specific real-time use cases available in front of us, and yeah, we are taking it up. The perfect advantages that we carry when we get into the edge computing is the data privacy. That's there with us for sure. Second is the cost efficiency. Third one is the control that you have. You own it, you have the control with you, and that's definitely a positive. And again, the disadvantage would be, or the con would be, the compute is limited because it's all at the edge. It's all locally available. Now we need to strike the balance. There has to be a balance. That's what we are trying to offer you through the AI PC. wide range of use cases are covered, really wide range of use cases. It can cater to generic AI use cases and Gen AI use cases as well, which we will definitely discuss. And most importantly, this is data privacy that we are highlighting as the major point. That's addressed. We are having privacy. Cost efficient, certainly you can go and visit the booth that we have. The laptops that you want to upgrade for your tomorrow can be the AI PC. It's not going to cost you much. In fact, it is much cheaper than whatever you are buying right now at the cost that you are investing towards it. It's for the future, but still it's at the cost of the present. So you can definitely buy it. And increased control is definitely there for you because you hold it with you locally. And disadvantage are the cons which we need to definitely understand. It's about the compute, which is limited by the local resources, right? We are striking the balance, but in a definite way that will be beneficial for the end user.
Yeah. I mean, we are all hearing this AI PC, which is definitely a buzzword. We also saw that in our booth. Many of them coming and asking us, what is this AI PC, right? I think it'll be really great to, unveil
Correct.
what AI PC is.
All right. So we have got three very important components that you need to understand when it comes to AI PC. I'm introducing you the term called NPU. You guys know CPU? You guys know GPU? We have been living with it for years now. But NPU is pretty new for you, right? So CPU, as you know, is there. It is going to be very helpful for all low latency AI workloads, and it's going to be the superstar. It's like Rajinikanth, it will be there. You cannot avoid it. He will do everything, and he will never get aged as well. And the second thing is GPU. Late 90s, we have seen the surge of all the graphical, video-related things popping up, where CPU was not really seen sufficient, and at times it was looked into by an aspect that can we not have a dedicated processor for it? There came the GPU. GPU was in the town then, and it is ideal for high performance, high throughput. Wherever you wanted really high throughput, wherever you wanted high real-time performance, I'll go for GPU. But there is an added disadvantage that's connected as a package. It's like it comes all the way along. The moment you start use GPU more, your battery life gets drained better. So more of GPU compute, more of battery life going this way. So you need to keep the charger connected to you all the time. There comes the NPU, which is going to be low power. Definitely it's not power hungry equipment that we have, power hungry processor that we have. It's very less power hungry. At the same time, it can strike the balance between the CPU and GPU, and it is ideal for sustained AI workloads locally for you. You understand, right? CPU, it's there, it has to be there, but it will be slow. GPU, super fast, but it's going to drain the battery. And NPU, I'll strike the balance, I'll stay in between, right? So, when you see that, we have got the process and the names correspondingly mapped for your convenience, because many of you will know what is Intel Arc, that's our graphics. You know that Intel Core Ultra, that's what we are introducing you with, the first one, that's our NPU. That's a core NPU that we are talking about. And Intel Core, you know all our Intel CPUs. All those are available, right? They are Intel Core. So all these are now packaged together, and you have one PC for you. That is our Intel laptop. That is our Intel AI PC laptop for you. That's it. So all these three comes in one package for you. Now you have CPU, you have GPU, you've got NPU all at one, right?
So are you trying to say that NPU is like much better than CPU and GPU, or?
Right. That's a very good question to be answered. So I need to show you an example where you can understand things better. There is no competition between NPU and GPU, by the way. We are not trying to say NPU is better, GPU is better. They all have their place in this beautiful world for them. So we are going to not kick out GPU or CPU, or NPU is not going to be a competition there. You seeing the example, you'll be able to understand it. Let me take CPU. This is a background blurring experiment that we are doing, exercise that we are doing. You can see that the inference time for the CPU is about 35 to 40 milliseconds. And you can see the frames per second, that's 28.5 something. That's very less, right? But on this side, time is more, the frames per second is lesser. Come to GPU there, it is super performance that we get there in terms of inference timing. It is 4.45, something less than 5 all the time. And see the frames per second, it's almost 150, 160 all the time. It is super powerful, super performing. Now see NPU, I have got 17.5 to 20 somewhere that way, and 58.5 as the FPS. Are we striking the balance or not? We strike the balance in a very efficient manner. We are keeping this in such a way that you can choose which is going to be useful, which is going to be ideal for your applications, and go ahead with it. We now give you option. You can run your real-time totally I cannot compromise with FPS, or totally I cannot compromise with the inference timing performance, I'll still go with GPU. But there is an option for you where you think that I can go ahead and run it in NPU. It can also save battery life. Your dependency towards internet will be lesser. Data privacy will be more enabled and protected. I will go with NPU. So we are giving you option. It was all optionless these days. Now we are giving you option, enable it and pick it up. This example would have made you understand how exactly things work. I have some figures and numbers for you. Definitely we need numbers, right? So 67% higher frames per second while gaming is achieved, and this is recorded. We have got 50% faster photo editing, which is recorded, 65% for image generation, 34% power savings while streaming, 36% power savings while video conferencing. We are definitely in an era where this all are very important for us, because we are working in an era we are almost connected to internet and video conferencing most of the time for the meetings and stuff. So this is going to be the future, and this is going to be helpful for you. So I hope I made you understand where exactly NPU is playing a major role. It's going to have the future for sure, and you are not investing anything extra for you to buy in and to insert the NPU card into the system. It's going to come as a package, and it's really very easy for you. All right? So, Anisha, now it's your time. So I'm going to ask you questions. Can you please brief us about the normal consumer client AI use cases versus the use cases that can be done with Gen AI, and how is NPU playing a role in terms of you getting the computation done?
Yeah. Thank you, Sriram. Yeah. So we've been seeing a lot of use case that is being built around like normal conventional AI is like normal vision-based models like super resolution, denoising, background blurring is one of the conventional AI model, and we also have generative AI bombarding everywhere, right? Especially LLMs and visual Gen AIs like DALL-E, stable diffusion, and so on. And plethora of use cases can be built potentially, like chatbots, code writing. When it comes to conventional AI, we have depth estimation and so on. Now, what Sriram took us through is the hardware part of like how you can address challenges when you develop an AI solution. There also comes the software part. Now, these kind of use cases can be built on like combination of hardware that we showed you, like CPU, GPU, and NPU. For example, you can run depth estimation on these hardware combination like NPU and CPU, or even bring GPU into picture, send some of the AI workloads to GPU and run the lightest one on the NPU and so on. So as Sriram walked us through, we have many challenges, right? Specifically with Gen AI, these are the major problems. When you take Gen AI, they are like how it is hardware hungry. The model size is huge, and that's why we are saying it's hardware hungry. When you run a Gen AI model, you will know how much of memory footprint it takes and so on.
Anisha, the general question here I have out of curiousness, can we even do the Gen AI stuff inside the local PC?
How many of you think yes to Sriram's question? How many of you think I can, deploy a Gen AI in my laptop that I have in my hand? Many? Have you tried? Yeah. So the question is, it is possible, Sriram? Of course. And these are the major hurdles that we face. Like, because if you take Llama, for example, and you're running an 8 GB model, downloading, you will see how hungry it is. Like, it is close to like 25 GB to easily 30 GB, even to do the inference. And again, with all the hardware advancements, with the combination of software, it is possible. One of the solution is running it on AI PC. You will, if you come to our booth, you will see how seamlessly it runs across these hardwares. And there's also the software part to it, which is our OpenVINO. So OpenVINO stands for Open Visual Inference and Neural Network Optimization. And this is the software part I'm talking about. If you're an AI developer and you're developing your solution, you have your AI model developed, run, you're satisfied with the accuracy or response it gives. Now OpenVINO comes into picture to optimize your model and make it lighter. Trying to address all the challenges that we saw, Sriram. And that is how we'll be able to make it run on these, edge devices or PC clients or normal laptops or our AI PCs even. So a little more about OpenVINO. As I mentioned, it will come into picture when, as a developer, we develop our model. And then once it is ready, you will optimize it with OpenVINO. no matter which operating system you're working on, or no matter on which hardware it is, CPU, GPU, you'll be able to optimize and deploy. So the motto here is, as a developer, you write the code once and you'll be able to run it across the hardwares like CPU, GPU, or NPU, or in a heterogeneous setup. You want to run it on like multiple GPUs plus a NPU, that is also possible. So again, if you are a developer with building your model in one of these frameworks, I know PyTorch is the most popular ones. So you have your model in TensorFlow, PyTorch, or even TensorFlow Lite and others. You will optimize it with OpenVINO. So what you get is not the native form of the model. The PyTorch or .pb model will be optimized and converted to OpenVINO format. I'll show you what happens or what OpenVINO format means. When you have the optimized model, you prepare a common inference pipeline which can run across these plethora of hardwares like CPU, Intel Atom Core, or Intel Xeon, which is the powerful CPU we have, or GPUs like Intel Arc, Intel iGPU, and so on. AI PC has Intel Arc. We'll show you if you come to our booth, or already if you have visited, you will see how the post estimation runs across the NPU, GPU, and CPU. And also NPU. As I mentioned, no matter on which operating system you run, Windows, Linux, or Mac, you will still be able to optimize it seamlessly. Now, if you want to explore, like OpenVINO is an open source toolkit, so it is built with a combination of, we also get a lot of input from our open source community as well. And to give back to the community, we have built multiple tutorials in the name of OpenVINO Notebook, our official GitHub repository, which again is open source. You will see tutorials as how you can pick all of these popular models, right? Be it multi-model like Lava Next, or Pix2Struct, or text-to-image models like Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, and so on. Or be it LLMs with RAG, you name any LLM, like we have a tutorial where you can choose from like 14 different LLMs and see how a chatbot gives response to each of the LLM across these hardwares. And the beauty is, of course, you will use the optimized or quantized version of these popular models and see how it runs on your hardware and gives better performance. So end of the day, optimizing the model is to improve the performance. As Sriram showed us the numbers, right? We evaluate how a model performs in terms of inference time, the type of response it gives, or FPS, right? So you see a boost in the performance when you actually optimize the model. And you can scan the QR code if you want to explore all of these tutorials. And to install these notebook, it's just simple 4 steps, Sriram, and for you guys. Like if you are someone who have cloned a lot of repository from GitHub, the first step is to clone the repository. You create the virtual environment and install all the dependencies, and then you launch the notebook, and the notebook will have like 150 to 200 plus tutorials for you to explore. Some of them, the lighter notebook side, you can also, explore through Collab, Binder, and so on. You don't even have to, clone the repository in those cases. As I mentioned, we have tutorials close to about 200 or 150 plus, ranging from traditional vision-based models like YOLO, post-estimation, etc., to NLP, to ranging to Gen AIs like large language models, stable diffusion, text-to-speech through Distal Whisper or Whisper, and many, many more. I have like sneak peek of some of them. A few of them are being also lively shown in our booth as well. If you visit our booth, you will see them live. Also, you'll get a hands-on experience. As I mentioned, if you go to these tutorials like the segment anything and so on, one thing common would be like you will see how easy it is to select the hardware. It is not even rewriting the code. You will just have to select your hardware and you will see how you can run the inference. I mean, just go to the task manager and you will see the spike in the NPU, GPU, or CPU, and see how easily it can run all of these models in an optimized way. These are latent consistency model is another model where you just give your text prompt and it'll be able to create visual images. And if you see in terms of inference time, it will only take few milliseconds to run on a GPU, maybe probably just 1 or 2 seconds to run on a CPU.
Sure.
So these are some of the many notebooks that we have. Not just these. I think we also have plugins, right,
yes.
Sriram?
We've got multiple plugins available that I can talk about. Maybe, yeah. And one very important thing that I would like to convey here is people who have registered for tomorrow's workshop, so please go ahead and attend the workshop. You will get a dedicated PC for you to try out things. In case you have not registered, and if you feel like still attending it, you are welcome to attend it because you can listen from Anish, who is sitting in the second row. So he will be taking the workshop tomorrow and we will be assisting. So you can definitely go ahead and get your hands dirty. I welcome you, and in fact I recommend you to do that, so that whatever we have conveyed should not go just a theoretical discussion. It should come to the practical end point where you can try out things. And just to conclude it on a very right note, we have provided a lot of plugins available for free, which you can download, install in few steps, and you can start using it in your regularly used tools like Udacity. Udacity, if you go ahead and see, we have got a OpenVINO plugin there, AI plugin there. So it will help you, our plugin will help you in terms of generating music, music separation, noise separation, suppression. All these are doable in a much, much easier way than the past. So the downloading and the installation guidelines are pretty simple, and we will give you our email IDs and the LinkedIn details as well. In case you are interested, you are stuck, we are always there to help you. And tomorrow also you can reach us out, and our booth is always open for your entry. And we have got one other plugin for a GIMP, which is nothing but GNU image manipulation program, where all these image processing guys and deep learning guys can go ahead and try out. This plugin is going to help you in all your image processing related stuff in a much, much easier way. It's going to be phenomenally easier. For example, I have done the segmentation there. In seconds it happens. So you can install it, and if you are planning to use it, please go ahead, install it. It's just a couple of minutes of exercise that you need to do. And overall, your AI PC is going to be one place where you can play around, do things secured locally, with no much investment. So that way I can conclude it very easily. And most importantly, before buying it, go ahead, try it out in our booth. And we have got multiple OEMs coming out with AI PC. It's manufactured and sold by Lenovo, HP, MSI, and many companies are further coming out with AI PC. So it's going to be available just like that in Amazon or Flipkart or any medium, right? You will get AI PC. So my recommendation is your next PC should be AI PC. So that's the recommendation that I have for you. And please explore it, and if you have questions, reach us out. There is something called as Intel Developer Zone. Just go to Google and type Intel Developer Zone. That has got plethora of resources for you. I recommend you to go through it, not only with machine learning, deep learning, or AI. It has got complete set of materials, learning materials, tutorials, videos, all those for many different areas that you are working with, including rendering, virtual reality, augmented reality, HPC, everything is there. It's such a phenomenal collection of information that I'm sure you all will love to look into. It doesn't require your Aadhaar card, credit card details. It will just ask your email ID to register. It will not take more than 1 minute for you to register. Go ahead and register it. And if you are interested in becoming a community contributor for Intel, we have got something called as Intel Innovator Community. Come and knock our door in the booth. Of course, the door doesn't have booth doesn't have a door. You can come right away there. We will help you out with the process, as in how do you become Intel Innovator with us. So you can contribute, you can learn, and you can be active in the community. So that way we'll be very happy to welcome you to the community as well. That's it predominantly. If we have questions, we can take it up, and then we can go back to our seats.